What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the entry list for the 2022 Ruoff Mortgage 500 from Phoenix International Raceway. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. We're going to start off with the one car for Trackhouse Racing. This will be driven by Ross Chastain, who is looking for his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory. Ross Chastain is coming off a very strong performance at Las Vegas, where he was able to finish third and led the most laps in the NASCAR Cup Series race in the last race at Las Vegas. He'll be looking to continue that performance. I think he will be able to continue having that really strong performances. I think Ross Chastain has a good shot at a really strong run this weekend at Phoenix, considering he's been historically really good at Phoenix. Up next, we're taking a look at the 2 car for Team Penske. This will be driven by 2022 Daytona 500 winner and one-time NASCAR Xfinity Series champion in 2020, Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric has had a pretty good start to the year. He didn't have as good a run at Las Vegas, so I think he finishes barely inside the top 20. But Austin Cindric in the Xfinity Series, he hasn't ran a Cup Series race here, but in the Xfinity Series, Austin Cindric has actually ran really, really well. He has 2 career wins here at this track and has ran historically very, very well. So I think he's going to be able to use that experience from Xfinity, and I think Austin Cindric will potentially have a very strong run this weekend at Phoenix. Up next, we're taking a look at the 3 car for Richard Childress Racing. This is being driven by 2018 Daytona 500 winner and 2013 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon is coming off of a 12th place, a top 12 in the NASCAR Cup Series race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and is looking to continue those really strong performances he has had to start off the season. Austin Dillon has been hit or miss at this track, so I'm not really sure how well he's going to perform. But if he can have the lot of speed and the power that he's had to start this year, I think Austin Dillon can build on the momentum, and hopefully he can have a good run this week and maybe like a top 15 this weekend with RCR. Up next, we're talking about the 4 car for Suarez Racing. This is being driven by one-time Cup Series champion for 2014 and a driver who's historically been very well at this track, Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick's had a hit-or-miss start to the year. He finished, I think, inside the top 15, but is very, very quiet and has not really had a great start to the year. That being said, though, Kevin Harvick has historically been really good. He is the winningest driver here at Phoenix International Raceway, where I believe he has 9 wins in his career and will be looking to pick up his 10th career victory. He's one driver to keep your eyes on. His 10th victory at Phoenix, I should say. He's one driver to keep your eyes on. I think he'll be very, very fast, and I think he'll have a lot of speed this weekend at Phoenix. Up next, we're talking about the 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports. This is being driven by defending NASCAR Cup Series winner and defending winner here at Phoenix International Raceway, Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson has had a really strong start to the year. He has 1 win so far this year, and is the only driver in the Cup Series currently that has 2 top 5s right now with back-to-back seconds in first place. He'll be looking to continue that prowess, and I think he's got a really good chance to have another really strong run this weekend, and it could have a really good chance to win, considering, like I said, the last time he ran here, he won. So I think he'll be very, very fast. I think he'll be a contender this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, we're talking about the 6 car for RFK Racing. This car is being driven by the team owner and 2012 NASCAR Cup Series champion, Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski's really had a very struggling start to the year. He's had 2 finishes outside the top 20 so far and has really struggled to keep up the pace to start this year. Now, Brad Keselowski has been okay here at Phoenix International Raceway. I don't think he has a win in his career so far, so he's still looking for that first victory historically here at Phoenix International Raceway, and he's also looking to try to build some momentum up. Hopefully he can do that because he needs to have some good runs and needs to get back to championship. He still is in the playoffs currently, but he needs to start picking up some good performances here starting this week. Up next, we're talking about the 7 car for Spire Motorsports. This is being driven by Corey LaJoie. Corey LaJoie is coming off of actually a really strong run at Las Vegas, where he finished in the top 15 and ran in the top 20 all day long. A performance that really was never talked about throughout the race, but he performed very, very well. Now, Corey LaJoie has been hit or miss here at Phoenix International Raceway, so I'm not really sure if he's going to perform very, very well. That being said, though, it seems like Spire Motorsports is finally starting to get their stuff and get gelling together, and I think maybe we'll see a good run for him this weekend. Up next, we're talking about the 8 car for Richard Childress Racing. These being driven by 2-time NASCAR Cup Xfinity Series champion Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick is looking for his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory. He's been really, really at points strong, but he's had a lot of problems, and he did actually get his first top 10 of the season in his first race where he was able to finish. Tyler Reddick has actually been really, really strong here at Phoenix International Raceway, whether it's in the Xfinity Series or the Cup Series. He has ran extremely strong, and I think that Tyler Reddick is going to be able to continue that this weekend, and hopefully Tyler Reddick can come out of this weekend with a very strong run and maybe contend for his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory. Up next, we're talking about the 9 car for Hendrick Motorsports. This being driven by 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion and winner at this race in 2020, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott's had a kind of a quiet start to the year. He is, I think, in the playoffs currently at the moment, but he hasn't had that really big standout performance so far this year and has not been able to score a victory. But Chase Elliott has been really, really good here at Phoenix, so I think he'll definitely be a threat to contend for the victory, and I think he'll be very fast this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, we're talking about the 10 car for Stewart-Haas Racing. This being driven by Aric Almirola. Aric Almirola is the only driver currently right now that has top 10s in all 3 races. And he actually has been pretty good here in his career at Phoenix International Raceway. And I think he's going to be able to continue that really strong start that he's had throughout this year. I don't expect Aric Almirola to win this week because he hasn't had winning speed and he only has 3 stage points so far. That's why he's in like 7th or 8th in the points. But I think Aric Almirola is going to be very fast and I think he'll be able to continue that trend of finishing in the top 10 in every race so far. Up next, we're talking about the 11 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. This, of course, being driven by one of the best drivers to so far not win a Cup Series race at this point. Winner at Phoenix in 2019 and 2012, and also winner of 3 Daytona 500s, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin has not really had a good start to the year. He has not finished in the top 10. Has had 2 DNFs to start this year. And he's looking to really turn this around and rebound after a really, really struggling start. Like I said, Denny Hamlin has not had a really good start to the year, and he really needs to start turning the season around because he's currently outside of the playoffs right now. He had a good car this week. Hopefully he'll have a good car this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, we're talking about the 12 car for Team Penske. This course being driven by 3-time winner last year and a driver who did not have a good run last week at Vegas. We're talking about Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney actually has been really, really good here at Phoenix throughout his career, but like I said, this year has not really gone off to a really, really strong start. He did, of course, get a top 5 in the Daytona 500, but he really needs to pick up the pace and have a much better run this weekend. But like I said, he's been historically really, really good here at Phoenix. So hopefully Ryan Blaney can come out of here and have a strong run at Phoenix this weekend. Up next, talking about the 14 car for Stewart-Haas Racing. This, of course, being driven by Chase Briscoe, who won the Rookie of the Year last year. Chase Briscoe has had an up and down year to start. He's had a couple really good runs, but also at points those runs have not turned out to be great at the end of the day. Chase Briscoe is a very, very talented driver, and in Xfinity, he actually has been pretty good, and in Cup, he's been pretty decent here overall as well. I think Chase Briscoe could have a good run. I'm not really sure how well he'll do, but I think that Chase Briscoe could have a very strong run this weekend. Hopefully he can because he needs to bounce back after not a good run, though, at Las Vegas. Up next, we're talking about the 15 car for Ricker Racing. This, of course, being driven once again by Garrett Smithley. Garrett Smithley is coming off of kind of a disappointing run where I believe he finished outside the top 30, or I think he finished around 31st or 32nd. Now, Garrett Smithley so far in his career at Phoenix has really not been that impressive, and that's because he's not driven for a lot of really, really strong teams. Garrett Smithley will be looking to bounce back and looking for a really strong run, maybe a top 30 for Ricker Racing, and maybe we'll see a good run for Garrett Smithley this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, we're talking about the 16 car for Kaulig Racing. This, instead of Daniel Hemmer driving the car, this weekend it will be driven by AJ Almandinger. AJ Almandinger will be running in the Cup Series the first of like 14 or 15 times of being in the car. He's going to be in the car the majority of the races this year, including all the road course races. I think AJ actually could have a really strong run here, considering this track is very similar to a road course track. This is a race I think AJ could run really, really well. What are my expectations? I think AJ could get a top 10 or a top 15, and he's also going to have that experience from the Xfinity Series race, so maybe AJ will have a good run, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Up next, we're talking about the 17 car for RFK Racing. This, of course, being driven by 2015 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion and one-time winner in the Cup Series and throughout his career so far, Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher has had really not a great run start to the year. He has not had a lot of great performances. He had his best performance at Vegas, and I think he finished outside the top 20, and he really is needing to have a bounce-back run here this weekend. And this is a track where he's been okay at, hasn't been amazing, but he really needs to have a bounce-back run here because this year, like I said, this year has started off on the wrong footing for Chris Buescher. I think he's got a shot to get it done. Hopefully he can come in here, and hopefully Chris Buescher can have a very strong run here this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, talking about the 18 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. This course being driven by 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion and winner, I believe, at this race once or twice, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is coming off a very strong run at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. They had to bounce back after basically having to go to backup car, and they're looking to have another good run this weekend. They were on the verge of picking up their first win of the season, and Kyle Busch's first win since Pocono last year, but unfortunately, late caution came out and ended up finishing in the top 5 and again, finishing 4th in the race. I think that Kyle Busch is going to have a good chance to do really well. Kyle Busch has been historically really, really good throughout his career at Phoenix International Raceway, and I think that Kyle Busch will be able to continue having that strong momentum this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, we're talking about the 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. This course being driven by a 2017 NASCAR Cup Series champion and winner at Phoenix in the spring of 2021, Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. picked up a top 10. He finished 8th at Vegas, which I believe was his first top 10 so far of the season. And he's been really, really okay to start this year, but hasn't been absolutely amazing. That being said, though, Martin Truex Jr. has been historically really, really strong at Phoenix International Raceway. He won the spring race last year. I think Martin Truex Jr. will have a good chance to contend for it, and I think he'll have a good chance to continue that momentum he got from Las Vegas. Up next, talking about the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. This, of course, being driven by the hot driver, Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell is a driver that is looking to continue. He's had a kind of an up and down start to the year, but he did bounce back a little bit. I think Christopher Bell is someone that's been okay at Phoenix throughout his career, but hasn't been absolutely amazing. So this weekend, he'll be looking to have a good run, bounce back from some of the struggles he had to start this year. He did bounce back a little bit, and hopefully Christopher Bell can have a good run this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, talking about the 21 car for Wood Brothers Racing. This course being driven by Rookie of the Year contender and winner of 4 Xfinity Series races in 2020, Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton is coming off his best performance so far in his Cup Series career, where he finished 16th. I think he finished around the top 10 at Talladega, but he finished 16th in the Cup Series race this past weekend at Las Vegas. Now, Harrison Burton in the Xfinity Series has actually ran pretty decent and has ran pretty well. So he'll be looking this week and have a really strong run. I hope he can get in this car and do really well and maybe continue the hot word trend of finishing really, really well in these races. Up next, talking about the 22 car for Team Penske. This, of course, being driven by 2018 NASCAR Cup Series champion and winner at Phoenix in the spring of 2020, Joey Logano. Joey Logano had a pretty strong run at Vegas. I think he finished maybe outside the top 10, unfortunately, but he did have a decent run at Vegas. Wasn't absolutely amazing. But he's been really, really good at Phoenix throughout his career. Joey Logano has had some pretty strong runs, and I think maybe this weekend we could see a lot of momentum be built up for Joey Logano. He's had some good runs here. I expect that Joey Logano could be a really strong contender this weekend at Phoenix. Up next, talking about the 23 car for 2311 Racing. This, of course, being driven by the winner of the Fall Talladega race last year, Bubba Wallace in the 23. Bubba Wallace is coming off, unfortunately, crashing out late in the event of going, unfortunately, 2 laps down. It's a shame because he had a really strong run going at Vegas. He was doing really, really good. Now, Bubba Wallace in the spring race, I know his finish didn't really show for it, but Bubba Wallace in the spring race last time we were here, he actually did really impressive and did very, very well. We're almost on the verge of getting a top 5, but they made that bad pitch strategy call, and it cost him a really, really strong finish in the race. I think Bubba Wallace could have a good run this weekend. The Toyota seem like they're back, and I think Bubba could have a good run this weekend at Phoenix. Up next, we're talking about the 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports. This, of course, being driven by 2017 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion and winner of 2 NASCAR Cup Series races, William Byron. William Byron has had an up and down start to the year. He did get his first top 10 of the season, but he really, like I said, his first 2 races weren't great. Now, William Byron has been pretty decent throughout his career at Phoenix International Raceway. The Hendrick cars seem to have been getting their stuff more together here throughout the years, and I think that we could see a good run for William Byron. Hope he can do that because William Byron definitely needs a good run this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, talking about the 31 car for Kaulig Racing. This course being driven by the winner of 4 NASCAR Xfinity Series races, Justin Haley, and 1 Cup Series race at Daytona, Justin Haley. Justin Haley's had an up and down start to the year. He has not really had a complete race. He actually did have a decent run in the Cup Series races past week. I think he finished like 22nd or 23rd. I thought he was going to be a little more contender than he's been this year, but they just needed to get a race through, and they were able to get it done. Now, Justin Haley in the Xfinity Series actually has been pretty well here, and it seems like their short track program, the Kaulig boys, seem to have a really, really strong short track program. So I think that Justin Haley could have a good run. He's one to watch. I think Justin Haley could and might have a good run this weekend at Phoenix. Up next, we're talking about the 34 car for Front Row Motorsports. This course being driven by 2021 Daytona 500 winner, Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell is coming off, unfortunately, I believe, crashing out or not having a really, really strong run at Las Vegas. And Michael McDowell, unfortunately, I did not expect those trends to continue. Michael McDowell has not really, throughout his career, been historically really, really that great here at Phoenix International Raceway. Despite being, I think, from around this area, I think that Michael McDowell, unfortunately, is going to struggle in his hometown. He just has really never ran that great here, which is shame. I want to see Michael McDowell do well, but I'm going to be perfectly honest and real with y'all. I'm not expecting a really strong run from Michael McDowell this weekend. Up next, we're talking about the 38 car for Front Row Motorsports. This being driven by Rookie of the Year contender and winner of 2 NASCAR Camp World Truck Series races, Todd Gillen, and a Rookie of the Year contender as well. Todd Gillen is coming off a pretty decent run in the Cup Series race. He was running in the top 20 a majority of the race. He did finish outside the top 20, unfortunately. But first time we saw him in the top 20 and showing some pretty good pace. Now, he did run really well the last time we were released for the Truck Series. He did run pretty well here. And I think that momentum is going to continue to build for Todd Gillen this season. Todd Gillen, like I said, does have a couple Truck Series races, wins in his career. He has not won here in the Truck Series, but he's done pretty good in the Truck Series. And I think that he could have a good run as a rookie this weekend here and just continue to build that experience this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, we're talking about the 41 car for Stewart-Haas Racing. This course being driven by 2020 Rookie of the Year winner and winner of one Cup Series race, Cole Custer in the 41. Cole Custer is coming off, unfortunately, DNFing after having, I think, overheating issues or the car basically let go and basically something broke on the car. He unfortunately fell out of contention and fell out of the race. Considering he had a really strong run at Auto Club, it's a shame that that happened for Cole Custer. Cole Custer is looking to rebound, and he could maybe be able to do that. Cole Custer does have some decent stats. He actually finished in the top 10 the last time we were here at Phoenix. And I think that Cole Custer this weekend could have a good run at Phoenix International Raceway. Up next, talking about the 42 car for Petty GMS Motorsports. This, of course, being driven by one-time NASCAR Xfinity Series winner, Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon has had a quiet year so far. I think he's finished in the top 20 in all 3 races so far, which is really, really impressive, all things considered, which is something I really did not expect at the start of the season. Ty Dillon is looking to continue that momentum and continue building on that. I hope that Ty Dillon can do that because if he does good, I think it's overall good for the sport. And Ty Dillon hopefully could have a good run this weekend at Phoenix. Up next, talking about the 43 car for Petty GMS Motorsports. This course being driven by 2-time NASCAR Cup Series winner Erik Jones. Erik Jones has had a good start until this past weekend at Vegas. He was doing really well and was actually on the verge of getting a top 10 finish, potentially a top 5 finish. And unfortunately, something broke on the car with 3 laps to go, and they end up finishing 31st instead of finishing up front and contending for a top 10 finish. But I think Erik Jones is going to have a good run this weekend. He's been really, really fast all year. I don't think that race is really going to set that team back. I think if they're going to get that momentum and that mojo back, he was running really good, and I think that Erik Jones could have a good run this weekend at Phoenix. Up next, talking about the 45 car for 2311 Racing. This course being driven by 2004 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and I believe a winner here in 2004, 2005, if I'm not mistaken, Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch is coming off, I think, a 12th or 13th place run. I think he's finished around that top 10 area. He was very quietly having a good run at Vegas. And I think that speed is going to continue this weekend here for this team. There are still some growing pains for this organization, but I do think that Kurt Busch could and might be able to have a very strong run. Hopefully, he can do that this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, talking about the 47 car for JTG Daugherty Racing. This course being driven by 2-time NASCAR Xfinity Series champion in 2011 and 2012 and winner of 2 Cup Series races, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has had a surprisingly good start to the year. I don't think he finished really, really well this past weekend at Vegas, but he's had a pretty strong start to the year and is looking to continue to build on that momentum and that speed that he's had at the beginning of the year. JTG Daugherty seems like they're an underrated team to contend for the playoffs, and I think he's had some decent stats here at Phoenix, so he's looking to have a very strong run this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, talking about the 48 car for Hendrick Motorsports. This is being driven by last week's winner and a driver who's been pretty good here at points here at Phoenix, Alex Bowman. Like I said, Alex Bowman picked up the win this past weekend here at Las Vegas and picked up a 7th or 8th career NASCAR Cup Series victory up to this point. He has been very, very good throughout his career so far. He's the guy that's kind of become the closer. And I know that the last couple times we've been here haven't been great for him, but I do think that Alex Bowman could and might be able to have a strong run and continue to build that momentum here this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, talking about the 51 car for Rick Ware Racing. This course being driven by the son of Rick Ware, Cody Ware. Cody Ware is coming off of a top 30 performance. I think he finished 27th. He had a pretty good performance with the Rick Ware Racing Group. And this team seems like they're actually a little bit faster. And they seem like they're actually a little more legitimate than they have been in the past. And I think as the year has progressed, this team is going to continue to get better. Cody Ware's had okay runs here at the track, but not really, really amazing runs, whether you look at his Xfinity or Cup Series background. He hasn't had overall the most amazing performances. So Cody Ware will be looking to continue to build that performance, and maybe he'll be able to have a good run this weekend here at Phoenix. Up next, talk about 77 car for Spire Motorsports. While the entry list says that Josh Bilicki is in the car currently, it looks like it's actually going to be Lana Castle who is driving the 77 car because Voyager is a sponsor, and Voyager sponsors Lana Castle for a majority of his Xfinity Series season. They sponsored him in the Daytona 500 as well. Lana Castle is very underrated and a very, very talented driver. He's, of course, coming off of a top 10 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series and also had a decent run in the Daytona 500 as well earlier this year. So I think Lana Castle could have a good run this weekend. He's one to watch, and I think Lana Castle could be an underdog to have a good run this weekend with Spire Motorsports. Up next, talking about the 78 car for Live Fast Motorsports. This, of course, being driven by BJ McLeod. BJ McLeod is coming off of another solid top 30 performance. He finished 28th once again and has had some pretty decent top 30 performances. Now, it does help the fact this team has gotten some good positions because some guys have fallen out of the races. But finishing the top 30 consistently is really, really good for the team. If they continue to run this well, maybe it will give them confidence to start performing a little bit better on the qualifying and on the speed charts. Hopefully, BJ can have a really good run and do really good this weekend here at Phoenix. And finally, driving the 99 car for Trackhouse Racing, we have 2016 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez is looking for his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory this weekend with Trackhouse Racing. And he was running really well at Vegas, but unfortunately got taken out by a situation where Michael McDowell checked up and Chase Briscoe came down into Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez will be looking to come to basically a track that's really close to Mexico and be looking to have a really strong run. I think Trackhouse has a really lot of speed. They're a legitimate team, and I think that they could and might be able to have a good run this weekend here at Phoenix International Raceway. So that is the interest for the 2022 Ruoff Mortgage 500. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications so you're notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on page as well. And let's get you below over that and comment your thoughts on today's video. Who is your pick to win this weekend here at Phoenix? Let me know that in the comments below. And what is your expectations for Phoenix as well? Let me know in the comments below. We've got a news video dropping on the channel tomorrow, and then on Thursday, we're going to be doing picks for this weekend's race for the Ruoff Mortgage 500 on Thursday. Check that out on the channel. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time for great, awesome NASCAR and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.